barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. 2 tickets, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Feel free to join my Patreon page, and all the detail. I'll be announcing the winner the week of the fight. I want to talk about Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum and how they're spewing out. Oh, good morning, King. How you feel? All these comments and not being rebutted by the media and people taking their word like it's their God. You understand what I'm saying? So, for example, let's start with Eddie Hearn. Let's work our way backwards. Eddie Hearn was saying some things about we've negotiated with Golden Boy, and Golden Boy worked with the Zone. Like, he facilitated that. Like he's getting a percentage of that. He ain't got nothing to do with it. He just better hope and pray that they stay on great terms and it works out between the three. But basically, the Zone is like a network. It's like HBO. It's like Showtime. It's not like people are forgetting, or people are thinking that Eddie Hearn owns the Zone. Now, if Anthony Joshua didn't get a contract like Canelo and isn't getting a base pay plus incentives, then I would assume that Eddie Hearn, in the deal that he made with the Zone, has some stock options, probably has some shares in the company, because if he got $365 million and Anthony Joshua, quote unquote, is the ace high of the world, and he didn't get a Canelo contract, that goes, I mean, presumably you would assume that Eddie Hearn got that deal. And he says he wants to negotiate with Deontay Wilder. They won't pick up, assuming they won't pick up the phone, and he offered him a bigger deal, and Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz. And media is not rebuttaling him. And I saw an article on Boxing Scene, or I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw it somewhere. I just didn't have time to comment on it this week. He said, watch out. Okay. The deal, he's basically hollering at Terrence Crawford and Bob Arum playing good cop, bad cop, basically, in the media. And Bob Arum is saying he wants the Errol Spence fight. The deal could be done in 3 hours. But when someone has a track record of leading people on, and when this is all said and done, I'm going to drop the most epic video on Oscar De La Hoya. Bob Arum, one day, maybe when I'm like 60, 65 years old, when I'm not covering fights anymore, I'm real selective. I got screenshots of some intimate details, and years down the line, it'll be, and y'all gonna be like, no fucking way. This is like 20 years from now. But I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna explain to you guys. You guys will have physical evidence of the lies and the manipulation and the emails, the lack of negotiation, because this shit is just beyond me. How I'm listening to Bob Arum, how he milked the Jose Benavidez deal 2 weeks ago. Was that 2 weeks ago? Man, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, about 2 weeks ago now. And he made everyone believe Jose Benavidez was a credible opponent, and the media ran with it. I had people contacted me. Oh man, I'm gonna bet $200 on Jose Benavidez and win $1 million. Jose Benavidez wasn't ready. Jose Benavidez is a competitive fighter. He competes. People misconstrue competing for having a chance to win. I'm gonna compete against Michael Jordan in a game of one-on-one basketball. I'm gonna compete. He's gonna beat me 11-2, 11-3. Hopefully I get the ball first. Hopefully I can make a jump shot or two. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? And hopefully he doesn't shoot 100%. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Uh, that's what I need you guys to understand. Competing and having a chance to win. I mean, he was on a hope and a prayer, and I don't blame the man for building up the fight and making money. I mean, I 1,000% applaud you. But if you saw my video that Friday before the fight, I'm like, what are y'all thinking? Y'all didn't see Jose Bennett. Y'all listening to the beef. Y'all watching him push him and Terrence Crawford throw a punch. But you didn't watch. You didn't watch. I watched the last 4 fights of Jose Benavidez, I think. And I'm like, this guy's not that good, comparatively speaking, to an A-level fighter like a Terrence Crawford. That's what I'm comparing it to. I'm not comparing it to, he's an above average fighter, but he's just not on Terrence Crawford level. And I made $900 on that deal. But I just want to reiterate and continue to explain to you guys, the day you start believing Bob Arum, like for real, the day you start believing Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn, oh no, man! It's just me. I mean, when the person show you who they are the first time, believe them. I stand by that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have a relationship with Bob Arum personally, but I have a business media member to a very important, prestigious person in boxing type of relationship. So I don't really have that type of relationship where I could just call Bob and say, hey, let's go have dinner. No, I don't have that. But I know Bob Arum. I know how he spins shit. And whenever, I'm just going to let you guys know this. And I explained it, guys, to you last week. Whenever Bob Arum raises his voice, that means he doesn't want you to ask another question. That means he wants the final say. And he knows if he raises his voice, that's what you guys are going to put in the press, because it's volatile. You understand what I'm saying? It's hold on one second. What days? One more question. What days do you go by Western? Is that? What days do you go by Western? The Western property.
I went I went this Tuesday.
Okay. And what day you go by the Century property?
The Century, Friday.
So today you go by the Century property, or?
Last week.
Oh, so you do my Florence property and the Century the same day?
Yes, I want to just
Okay.
make like close.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you.
No, you're welcome.
Now we're all squared off. We're even for October now.
Yeah.
Everything's paid, so I pay you.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Why
right.
you need to work today?
Huh?
You need to work today?
I'm going to work now. I'm going to work out, then I'm going to work. Yeah.
What do you work with?
Property. I'm a handyman.
You're a handyman?
Yeah, that's what I do all day. Handyman fix stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah? I thought it was boxing. Because
No, boxing is
like an exercise?
I do exercise, but also box too. Box for fun, but I cover boxing for media. But nothing big. But yeah.
So you're a handyman?
I'm a handyman all day, every day. I'll be on my knees working all day, man. All right, I'm back. Fridays, the gardener comes. And I'll tell you guys a word to the wise. If you have a gardener and you have multiple properties, don't give them all the properties. Just give them, if you have 3 or 4, maybe, you understand what I'm saying? Give them a couple and give the other one a couple, because then it gives them absolute power. You know what I'm saying? So I try and hold them accountable. And sometimes I don't make it by those properties within those 2 weeks. Just to give you guys some tidbits. Go ahead, brother. I always ask him what days he go by there, so he feels like I'm holding him accountable. Take this damn sweater off. All right, I'm back. Now I'm off to the gym to go hit this bag. But yeah, as I digress back into Bob Arum, man, Bob Arum is great at what he does. He is a Hall of Famer. He is a universal recognized Hall of Famer. He 100% understands. Eddie Hearn wants to be Bob Arum to a certain degree. Wants to be Al Heyman. He wants to be remembered. He wants to be a celebrity, per se. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to recognize this. And if they have consistently told you, if they tell you 7 lies and 1 truth, you better investigate that truth. You understand what I'm saying? Investigate it. All right. Now, I'm going to say some things. I'm not into negotiations. Terrence Crawford doesn't live in LA, and I don't personally have that type of relationship with Terrence Crawford as it relates to his negotiations, and he's rather pleasant when we speak in person, and you guys can tell by the interviews that we have no problems conversing with one another, having the darndest problem with this damn seatbelt. So I don't know the intimate details of the negotiations and how it relates to contract negotiations. So I'm going to step out of that. But what I will say is this: if Bob Arum is leading the narrative, right, do your investigative work. All right. He just said Al Heyman wasn't real, and he got the biggest check of his life. He got the biggest check. Okay, I don't know Bob Arum's person, but I'm assuming he's gotten one of the top 2 or 3 checks of his life for Mayweather Manny Pacquiao, and that was because they worked together and got that deal done. And you also got to take into account he might be bitter now. You understand what I'm saying? Floyd Manny Pacquiao went to Al Heyman, which validates Bob Arum's business model isn't real. So you got to take all these factors into account. You understand what I'm saying? So I genuinely believe that he's not truthful 100%. He's a promoter. And I'm not saying all promoters got to tell the truth. I'm just saying what they used to say in G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. We know who Bob Arum is for the most part, publicly. So you got to value that. And with Eddie Hearn, you got to value that. You understand? He's trying to dominate the U.S. market. And I don't think he's going to succeed at it because of how he started. And I'm tired of giving, because I don't want to prove myself right anymore as it relates to that, because I know they watch the videos and they make adjustments. I can totally tell how they're moving, that to a certain degree they're listening to your videos, they're listening to my videos, and they're making adjustments. They're making, so at the end of the day, I just want to say this: please take into account, know who you're dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Take into account and know who you're dealing with. And when you know who you're dealing with, you know how to treat them moving forward. I just think Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. See, the difference is, in my humble opinion, Bob Arum knows how to promote. Bob Arum knows what he's doing. Right? He knows how to manipulate the media without, per se, manipulating the media. You understand? Eddie Hearn is a flat out, no, in my humble opinion, not a good guy, per se. You understand what I'm saying? Because if he told Anthony Joshua not to take $80 million and then has him sign with the Zone and not get a $300 million guarantee like Canelo, or a $200 million guarantee, something is wrong there. Like, something's completely wrong. So, and with, I'll say this. I'm gonna hang up right now. I'm done. But these are my last 2 major points that I really want to drive home. One, Manny Pacquiao goes to Al Heyman to make a deal. Manny Pacquiao is in debt with the IRS here in America, under the watchful eye of Bob Arum. Make sense? Part 2. Eddie Hearn cost Anthony Joshua a minimum of $80 million just to sign a contract and fight Deontay Wilder. And 2, didn't sign with the Zone with a 5 or 6 fight guarantee. You understand what I'm saying? Like a Canelo. Why didn't Anthony Joshua get the richest contract in sports history? I don't understand that. There's something to be said about that. So anyways, man, barbershop conversation, man. It's Friday. Have a great day. Have a wonderful day, man. I salute y'all. I love y'all at the end of the day. And whether you like me, love me, or hate me, make sure your Friday was greater than your Thursday. Make sure your Friday was greater than your Wednesday. Make sure you're inspired. Make sure you're working towards generational wealth, spiritual development, family development, all that stuff, man. I'm working on that shit every day. And I have terrible days some days, and I attempt to get better and better and better and better and better and better and better at it. But I'm a flawed human being. But we're all working towards the unmeasurable. So and that's the beauty about always working with immeasurable goals. Only you can measure it, per se. That's what makes the journey so beautiful, because other people that's looking at you can't measure it. So you only can say, am I getting better spiritually? You only can answer that. Am I getting better physically? Did I lose 10 pounds this month? Did I lose 5 pounds this month? You know what I mean? So anyways, man, let's work to be better. Let's work to be greater. Let's be great. And I'll leave you guys with this. You're spiritual beings moonlighting as human beings. All right. So edify your spirituality. I know we get caught up in, trying to make some commas, trying to make money, cashing checks. You understand what I'm saying? Getting women, all that shit is beautiful. All that shit is fun. And I'm speaking as a man, as a realistic man. I get all that. But take time to develop spiritually. I don't care if you hate me with your guts. Take time to develop yourself spiritually. You'll reap the rewards. I'll holla. Peace, guys. Appreciate you guys.